With the new temporary shelter now operating in St. Catharines, we thought it would be a good time to check in as well with Betty Lou Souter of Community Care St. Catharines Thorold. Betty Lou, the shelter is a positive step in the right direction. It is helping out.
It certainly is, and it was really exciting. I was invited to go and have a look at it before it opened, and just to be able to see that these people are going to be living in a clean, dry place. They have their own bed, they have a little desk to sit in, and they have their own space, and they have a community room where they can get their pieces of the puzzle to get them onto sustainability and independence. So I thought it was really extraordinary. It's been a long time coming, but it just proves when everybody works together, and we put all our oars in the same water, and the region really went to bat for this, and the mayor of St. Catharines, and it's a model that's going to be used in other places as well. So it's very exciting to us, and we're hoping to be able to partner with them, as I said, if we have things that we can share, because I think that's really important, because a community care these days, sometimes we'll have an overage of fresh produce, and we don't want it to go to waste. So they're on our list to call. Can you use this, or can you use that? So we're working with them, and because a lot of them, we are people that have been known to us for years. So very, very exciting, and let's just keep it going in a positive trajectory. And I think what makes it special is they have 24-hour care there.
There's staff there helping them out.
24 hours a day. So how good is that?
You talk about working together. 10 food banks in Niagara are now part of what's called Feed Niagara, so that's another positive step.
Absolutely, and that happened around the pandemic time, as you know, and it came together, and we're finding that we're stronger together. Working together has made us a lot richer, and we have greater access, and it's also generated a lot of enthusiasm within the community and donors as well. So we're really proud of that, and it's when you do that extra step, and it's not about you, it's about the people you serve. And I think that's one of the things that I learned over my career is it's about the people you serve. It's not about your own self-aggrandissement in French. It's about helping the people who need it most. And you focus on the people you serve and how you can work together with others. And it's amazing the synergy that it creates.
Sometimes we like to celebrate milestones. Community Care has a milestone of sorts this year, 105 years. It's something to celebrate, but not really, because we would rather not have to have community care.
We would rather not be here, but I think realistically, and I mean, you can go back into biblical times, there's always been the paupers on the street, so it would be not responsible of us to say that there are not going to be people that are going to always be in need, but hopefully the numbers are diminishing, but unfortunately from our graphs, they're not. And as you know, community care was established in 1919, which was post-World War, but it was also the end of the Spanish flu pandemic. So there was a lot of unrest in the world at the time, and it's just continued to grow in bits and pieces. And, now today, our numbers are alarming, and as I said, I brought you a little chart.
That chart, I mean, when I look at that, the need has just continuously gone up, and it's pretty much quadrupled since 2022.
Oh yes, no, it's frightening, and before that as well, it was growing, but I mean, you can go forever with this one, but I just think dramatically what it's saying that it's consistently going, because in 2022, we had fed over 3,488 people in the month of February, and this year, alarmingly, that's 11,507. 11,507 on the shortest month of the year. Mind you, it was leap year, but
one extra day shouldn't give you that much more.
No, but it's concerning, and it's consistent. I talked to John at the Hope Center and Pam at Project Share, and everybody is finding February, and we have to figure out why. Is it post-Christmas, but it wasn't the same last year? It was higher last year, but not as dramatically as high as it is right now. So what causes February? Does Christmas catch up with people maybe in February? I don't know. The weather hasn't been extreme. Extreme weather from time to time impacts us, but the weather hasn't been extreme. Well, it's been extreme sunny one day and snowy the next, but not to the frigid temperatures that we had last year. So there's all kinds of mitigating factors that come into these things that have an impact on our numbers. But when we all did this, and when one person started and said, have you done your numbers yet? Because through Feed Niagara and through Feed Ontario as well, we have a program called Link to Feed, so we all chart the same numbers. So those of us who are members of Feed Ontario, and Feed Niagara, which is a subset of, our numbers are all consistent. So there's, you can't sort of, fudge them is a terrible word, but make them greater or lesser than they are. They're actual
Right.
numbers. So when we do our monthlies and we submit them to Link to Feed, we all said, wow, like,
You're all noticing the same thing.
absolutely.
How long can this be sustainable?
Well, that's the big question. I mean, it's the sustainability piece, Mike, that we know that is going to be problematic. So what we have to do is we have to work together. We're stronger together, as I've said before, but we have to work together, because if we don't, it's not going to happen, because it's the sustainability. I have a planning meeting with my board next week, and we're looking at things, and, there's no programs that you can cut out, but, and you don't want to cut back on the supplies you give people, so it's a dilemma. But we just have to hope that when people realize those who have can and will, and those who can't, you're still welcome to come to community care or any other feeding program in Niagara through the network. We want to make sure that everybody has the ability to live with dignity and purpose. And the only way you can do that is to make sure you have a full tummy and a warm bed and a place to sleep at night. And that gives everybody those components that are necessary to live in the Canadian way. We shouldn't have to be worrying as Canadians, worrying about what happens. Are we going to be able to feed our families? Are we going to have a warm bed? And you know as well as I do, when you go to the grocery store now, you're having to be a little bit more strategic
right.
when you're shopping than you were before. But that's not a bad thing.
People are probably more strategic when it comes to donating as well because of that.
Absolutely, yes.
Because of that.
Yeah.
Betty Lou, thanks for coming in and talking about this today. And
Well-
we'll have you return soon.
Well,
for
yeah, we
another
might have
chat.
some good news on the horizon that we can share, because as I said, we're working with other people. So hopefully I have some good, exciting news to share with you in a little bit.
Fingers are
Fingers crossed, yes.
Perfect.
Yeah. Thanks so much.